What's up, everybody? Welcome to Hammerdown Motorsports, and today behind me we have a traffic light. Yes, a real live traffic light, and we're going to be having this wired up in the shop, doing the sequential action and all that good stuff, and we're going to show you guys how to wire that today with some very simple stuff from Amazon. So let's open this thing up and kind of show you what I've done so far. All right, so you bought your traffic light and you're trying to figure out how to wire this thing up so you can run it in your shop, because obviously when these are up on the poles, they have wiring that goes down to a control box, and that's what tells it what to do as far as red, yellow, green, and so forth. So that's where Amazon comes in. They actually sell a little control box that you can control these with. Whoa. Okay, all right then. We open up our yellow. This is where our bus bar is, or our terminal bank. And this is our little control module that I got from Amazon. I will have a link in the description for this one in particular. There are a bunch of different options out there, but they pretty much all do kind of the same thing. And I was in the shop last night and I had all these pieces, and I figured, you know what, I'm just gonna kind of throw this together and make sure that everything is right before I do the video, and then I can show you guys exactly what I did. So opening up your light is pretty simple. There are a couple different designs depending on what year your traffic light is. This is actually a 2010 model, so everything is LED, and the entire body of it is actually plastic. And then you have these little screws here that you can turn by hand, and there's a little threaded piece inside here, and once they reach the end of their threads, the whole door will swing open and reveal your wiring and the back side of your light. So originally my light had this 5-wire setup. This is actually the original one when it was out in the wild running off the big control box. So I removed this, pulled it out. It was actually located in kind of this mounting area because these originally are banded onto the posts. So it's not going to work for our mounting purposes, so I had to figure out something else there as well. But first thing I did was just take out the original wiring, and then I picked up a cord on Amazon. It was just a 10-foot cord, 3-prong. It doesn't have to be a 3-prong for this setup, but some of them actually do use the earth ground, but I will get into that in a little bit. And all I did was cut off the female end, strip the wires back, and then I came in right here with just your standard electrical bulkhead fitting that tightens down on this side. You can see our wire is nice and secure, and then I ran the extension cord in, and you can see over here it runs into our board. So with this board in particular, there's nothing special about it. It was just one that I ended up picking out of what was available, and I figured it would work for our purposes. And you can see printed on the board there is a LN, LN, and so on. That is your line and your neutral, and line is going to be your black, and neutral is going to be the white wire coming out of your cord. So underneath these wires here, it actually has for each color and your AC in. So our AC in is obviously going to be our cord. So on the L I have the black wire, on the N I have our neutral wire from our cord, and then over here you can see I don't have the white wires coming out on the actual neutral, because if you flip this guy over, you can see all the neutrals are common. So I ended up only putting a neutral right here on the end, which is the same as having 3 different ones coming out. I just ended up doing 1 because they all go to a common place over here on our terminal bank. So as it's printed on the board, I have a red wire for our red light, I have an orange wire for our yellow light, I have a green wire for our green light, which would normally be an earth ground, and I know a lot of electricians are, oh, you wouldn't want to use that color wire because it could get confusing. So I did take a silver marker and draw a silver stripe on it, but it just made things a lot more clear for me, just so I know which wire is going to which light, and that is the color wire that I did have. So that's all it takes to wire up this control board. And then over here on our terminal bank, you can see the red wire from the board goes to the red wire that goes out to our red light, and then we have our neutrals all going in at one location. So I have that one neutral white wire going to here, and then all of our white neutrals go out to each light from that particular terminal. And then the green light with the silver stripe goes to here, which actually goes to the brown wire, which is the original green light wire that goes down to our green light. And then over here I have my orange going out to our yellow wire, which goes to our yellow light. So now as far as mounting the board, I do have some parts coming from Amazon. They're out for delivery right now. They should be here fairly soon. I was hoping to be here in time for the video, but unfortunately not. But they are just a sticky back post that's going to go through each corner of the board and just kind of keep it elevated and in its place, so that when we close this door and that light comes down, it's going to be nicely out of the way. And as far as this board goes, there is a way to actually change the modes. There's a little, I think it's a micro USB right here,
and I think you can hook in a module or like a Bluetooth module and run it with an app from your phone, something like that. That gets a little bit more technical than I really needed it to be on this. All I wanted to do was cycle between the colors instead of having all three on at once, which you can do. If you don't want to have them cycle in sequential, you can actually just not have this board at all, and you can just run your cord directly to your terminal bank and just have them on all the time. But I wanted it to look a little bit more authentic, so that's why I went with the control board. And one thing I did forget to mention, this particular board does not use a earth ground, so you do have your green wire. I just kind of wrapped it around the cord here. It's not used because we do have our line in and our neutral, but some of the boards I've seen out there do actually use the green wire, so just pay attention to that, whichever one you buy. So now that I have my cord run in, I have all my connections connected, everything is nice and tight, all our terminals are in good condition. I actually did replace all the terminals on the top here that went into our board, because the ones that I did cut off of our original wiring were pretty worse for wear. So ended up putting some new nice tight ones in there, and everything tightened down really nicely, and nothing is loose. Everything's going to stay in its place for a very, very long time. We can close up the doors, hopefully as soon as it doesn't fall over. And then I'm going to prop it up and we can plug it in. All right, now we got everything kind of precariously set up here with my drill holding it in place. Let's plug it into the wall and see how it all works. Oh, no short sounds, no sparks, no smoke. That's a good sign. And look at that. We've got green light, we've got yellow light, and our red light. And this is kind of the pattern that it does. Just kind of red, yellow, green. And like I said before, if you guys want to get real technical with this, you can go into that board and change different settings, have them go slower, faster, whatever the case may be. But for me, I think this is going to work out just fine. And for those of you who stayed till the end of the video, we have a little tip from me. This is some Spray Away Tire Shine High Gloss. We're going to go over to the Rebel. We're not going to be putting this on the tires. I'm going to show you guys a little bit of a hack that I'm doing a little bit of an experiment with and see how well it works. All right, so we got the Rebel nicely cleaned up yesterday, and we got our tire shine nicely warmed up because it was not working so well. It's like we were going to be all right now, and as you can see, we already got mud all over the inside of the wheel wells when I just washed it. But either way, we're just gonna go right over top of it, and we're gonna spray tire shine on the inner wheel wells. So it's gonna give it a little bit of a maybe less bondable surface for the mud. This tire shine is not the greatest thing. As soon as it gets cold, it doesn't want to work. I'm gonna go grab some other stuff and see if we can coat the inner fenders of the truck so we don't have this happening so much. And especially with the PA mud, this stuff is like clay. It's super hard to get off. So I think once we have a good layer of tire shine in here, it's just gonna come off pretty easily with a pressure washer. All right, so that Spray Away I bought yesterday, and I let it sit in the house a little while to warm up, and it still didn't want to work. This is some old Meguiar's that I bought in Canada probably about 12 years ago. So let's see if it works. Oh yeah, look at that. Shout out to Meguiar's and getting the job done. All right, there it is. You can see that we got a nice shine inside our wheel wells. And aside from a little bit of mud that remained on there, which should wash off pretty easily the next time I take it into the car wash, it does make it look a whole lot nicer and hopefully keeps that haziness from starting in these inner fenders. And we got one more goodie for these wheels. Here is a spiked valve stem cap. Just one of those little things. Get rid of this factory cap, which is fairly boring, and put on one with a little bit more of an aggressive look. And I gotta say, I really don't like how much of that brass is showing, but I'm gonna take a little touch-up paint, clean that up, and I think that'll look really nice. So there it is, everybody, how to wire up a traffic light in your shop, garage, basement, wherever you want to put it, so you can use it just on a regular plug it into the wall, and get the effect of an actual traffic light, which is actually pretty cool. And it's very simple. I think the board itself was under $40, and you just need a few wires, some basic tools, and it's actually pretty easy, as you guys saw. I think for mine, I'm going to put it up here on the corner of the mezzanine, and then I've got a receptacle that's underneath. I'm going to plug it in, and we're going to have a really cool effect here in the shop. So I hope you guys enjoyed
enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And as always, keep that hammer down.